start with Justin?
What can you tell us about the story with Owen Goss, and what has he shown you guys so far in practice?
Cool story with Owen coming from an FCS school, Colgate in the Northeast there. Shout out to our scouting department, did a great job putting together a list of guys that came down late. He was a guy that was still available, and we liked his film. He showed a lot of versatility, a lot of toughness, and I think he's shown that here. He's really brought an older senior leadership in that room. Not that we need a ton of that because we have some good ones, but just another positive example for these young guys. Works really hard, position versatility, does a lot of different things. So you guys were there at the scrimmage the other night, had a great night, showed how physically ready he was, and that this isn't a big jump for him. You know, there's good players at all levels, and I'm happy we got him on our team.
Matt Remington.
Having an athlete like Genesis, I mean, how much does that give you guys flexibility in how you run your defense? How much of a difference maker is that when you're putting together defensive game plans?
For sure. He's a fun piece. Again, similar to Owen, he does a lot of different things for us, plays multiple positions, has a ton of range in the back end on the roof, you know, and as opposed safety, and also is great in his man cover skills. So having a guy like that with position versatility, that puts the time in to learn all this stuff too. It's a fun toy to kind of play with, and, you know, gives us some flexibility to do a lot of different things.
Now, you mentioned position versatility twice. That seems to be paramount within Coach Aquino's defense. With mixing up so many different looks on the back end, how nice is it to be able to play, you know, a true safety at a slot corner, or, you know, move guys down from the nickel position, play in different positions? How much does that give you guys really an advantage, especially against big flow offenses?
It's huge. Our job as coaches, right, is to get the best players and put in positions to make plays. And so you don't want to be handcuffed and have a great player such as Genesis. You know, obviously we have Gunnar Maldonado, who's another great player. So how do you find ways to get him on the field? And you don't want to just get tied into a depth chart at one position. It's about, you know, teaching these guys multiple positions and then putting the time to do that. So for us, we can find the best team to get on the field. You know, it was interesting with Steve Kerr and the USA men's basketball team, and people are criticizing him for Jason Tatum. And it's just, hey, I'm trying to find the best group of guys that kind of come together and put the best product out. And, you know, we're just trying to do the same thing.
Michael?
Dwayne Aquino said that trading Stoops is the best kept secret in college football. Why do you think he flies under the radar a little bit?
I don't know. I think maybe the former walk-on, you know, in today's recruiting services, he's a guy that, you know, he wasn't a star, you know, not a lot of hype around him. But if you turn the tape on, I mean, he's special. I don't know why he's flown under the radar so much. He's a special talent, works hard. You put on the Oklahoma game, it shows his versatility at the different positions like we just talked about. He played star, he played corner, and he produced. Why he isn't garnering more attention, I don't know. But I'm okay with it because he's going to go shock a lot of people this upcoming season.
Do you think it has anything to do with the position, the star position, people just kind of not knowing exactly what that is?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't thought about that, to be honest with you. Maybe it's because nowadays people are so specific for corners and safeties, and the nickels kind of get overlooked, and he was the, you know, star is the nickel position essentially for us. So maybe that might be a part of it. But I'm sure glad we got him on our team. He's a great player for sure.
Justin, how much are DBs blitzing this year compared to last year?
We're doing a lot of different things. I think similar to last year. And, you know, right now it's this kind of toys and throwing spaghetti at a wall and see what sticks, right? So we're doing a lot of different things in camp, and then seeing what sticks out to us, what works, what doesn't. Right now it's just Coach Aquino always says we're trying to build a better mousetrap, and I think that's, you know, kind of going into our blitzes. We're trying to see what works best, what doesn't. And so I think there's some differences, but there's still some similarities. We're blitzing a lot of guys, and he says if we have a special weapon, we're going to fire them. So we're seeing who those are out there, you know.
Matt, as you continue your progression as a developmental coach, there seems to be like kind of a conflict when it comes to scouting at the NFL level. they want guys to be at the corner for safeties. But when you talk to any NFL DB coach, they want positionless guys that can play all over the place. Clearly, you are teaching versatility, but how do you balance that with developing guys to the next level, but also needing them to be able to play multiple positions?
It's on us to monitor that and keep rep counts. We keep rep counts of where guys are playing, what positions, how many snaps they're getting at, star versus corner for Stooks, or star versus safety for somebody else, and just making sure we're managing how many reps they get at different things. And then when it comes to game week, saturating them in one heavier than another, because that's probably what they are, but also making sure they can play multiple, and that'll benefit them at the next level, right? Because the more the more you can do. It's hard to stay on a roster, and being able to play multiple positions will be able to help them, elongate their careers. So I think not only for us as a team is it beneficial, but it's beneficial for them later on.
Justin?
I know there were a lot of other pieces that were involved in last year's team, but the run that you guys went on to end the year, how do you think last year set you guys up for this year?
I think it built a lot of confidence with this group of guys. Obviously, our camaraderie and our team leadership is just different. It's special, and I think building on that from last year really puts us at a nice trajectory. Now it's our turn to just take the lessons and the lessons and the confidence from last season and let it grow and continue into this year. Even though it's a different team, there's a lot of guys that are from that last year's team. So bringing the young guys along, the new transfers along, and building that confidence with them, I think has been huge.
I know you don't really work with him closely, but just thoughts on Marquise Gross-Killebrew and what he's brought to the secondary.
Doing a great job, competing at a high level, as you guys see. I mean, he's a dynamic corner, very athletic, long. So he was a really good pickup for us defensively to help garner that, or help build that corner room and build some more depth. And it's all about challenging one another. The best players are going to play, and you constantly want to compete against one another. And he's a great player and pushing the rest of those guys. So.
Any more questions? All right, that's our time.